presented to you by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM Mile High Sports Radio. I'm your host, Jordan Kurtz, sitting here alongside the UFC middleweight, Josh Fremd. We have a very special guest joining us via the MyFitFoods hotline. That is MyFitFoods.com. Eat fit, live fit, give a fit. Make sure that you use the promo code Peanut Gallery in the checkout, and they will get you all taken care of on the back end there. Like I say, on the horn right now, we have a guy who called his shot last weekend. Call it the Babe Ruth action of MMA. Maybe a little bit of Gordon Ryan thrown in the mix.
A little bit of Gordon in there.
Cody Law, how you doing, my man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for taking the time and joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, so let's dive right into this, Cody.
Right
here.
into it, man.
So I think that you did one of the most incredible things this last weekend. And for those who have not seen just yet, just scour social media and just search "Fighter Calls His Shot." You will see that Cody Law wrote down how he was going to finish his opponent, James Adcock, and the time in which he was going to finish it. How did you have that premonition?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said I knew I'm going to count down from 117 on or whatever, but it's just something I do before every fight. I like to write down how I think the fight's going to play out as like a positive affirmation or a visualization technique. And so I do it and I just kind of let it go. And it just so happened to work out that way that when I was fighting, I finished him at 117. In my head, I actually thought it was much longer than that. I thought that it was like 2 minutes had passed before we even started exchanging. But time goes fast in there. I'm sure Josh can relate to that. But yeah, crazy. It just worked out that way.
Yeah, man. Time goes fast, but also slows down so crazy in there.
Yeah.
But like you said, one of those things there is, Cody, the positive affirmation. When did you start doing that? Was that early on in your athletic career that it's something that you've started to do recently, or was it something that's been there for a while?
Dude, I actually learned about it at Penn State. The coaching staff had kind of brainwashed us almost into doing all these strange visualization techniques where we were drawing pictures of ourselves on the podium and writing things down and writing our goals down. And there's actually a quote that I heard at Penn State where they said something along the lines of 3% of people write their goals down. Of those 3%, 97% reach their goals. So it's kind of like a cool little thing that stuck with me. And then when I started fighting MMA, I started to really get it. I always wrote my goals down in my notebooks in college. Like when I was not paying attention in class, I would write down NCAA champion. But then when I started MMA, I actually got a notebook and started writing things down, random things, every single morning, three things a day. And I've just kind of carried it over and thought it would be fun to do pre-fight in the hotels when I saw the notepad, and carried it all the way up until now.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool to hear, because that's not something that people will do, because that's what puts you aside, that's what puts you ahead and in a different level than most people. Now, going into after this fight, I like to ask these questions a little, off the books here, not your typical everyday question. Cody, what was your go-to food after you won your fight? Like, what is your go-to splurge meal after you win?
I lost there for a second, but I think you said my go-to splurge meal?
Yeah, well, after you win, after you get a really awesome knockout, like, what is the food that you're most excited to go get?
Dude, my favorite thing after every fight is like 2 strong IPAs and a Five Guys cheeseburger.
Yeah. If that's not the most Pittsburgh thing I've ever heard.
It's euphoric.
It is. It is. You get those IPAs in you, and that Five Guys, that cheeseburger, bro.
Yeah, because you're deprived for like 6, 7, 8 weeks. So the IPAs hit you so hard, and when you eat that cheeseburger, it's like an out-of-body experience.
I can only imagine. And also at the same time, Cody, I'm not surprised. With Josh being my main man right here, we've been around for a few fights, and through the mix of that, I'm not surprised. I am not in the least surprised as far as that goes. But let's.
What is yours, Josh? What is yours?
Oh man, definitely an ice cold beer. I don't have like a preference sometimes. As if I win, like, hey, get me a cold beer in my hand immediately. Let's go to a club. Let's go to a bar. Let's have some fun. But if I'm going straight food, probably some like I literally stick to mostly what I eat every single day. But like I'd go steak fajitas or some like big steak. You know.
Yeah. Yep.
Cody, you want to hear one of Josh's emotional damage moments?
Emotional damage.
Yeah.
So him talking right here about having his, like wanting, just doesn't matter, no real preference, but wanting a cold beer right after a fight.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, after Josh's last fight, he gets done, walks out of the cage, gets the big win against Joel Bauman out there at FAC 12, right in front of Dana White and the crew, along with the Nelk boys. He goes up to Kyle and the rest of the crew of the Nelk boys and asks them for a beer. They turn around and they grab a beer for him and they get ready to start to give it to him. And this is all on camera, mind you. And Josh turns away. Josh was just so caught up in the moment, he turned away. And they're just like, all right, well, he just asked us for a beer. We were probably going to have a whole like content and shoey moment. And he walked off.
Emotional damn. Oh, yeah, dude. I did not think that they were going to get me a beer at all. But hey, moving on. Let's take this off of me here. Let's take the spotlight. We're here with Cody Law. He went out and predicted his finish in his last fight, which was absolutely amazing. Cody, what do you see next for yourself with Bellator? Like, do you like the way that they are having you fight regularly? Like, every time I look around, I feel like, oh, Cody Law's fighting again. Let's go. Like, I get pumped 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah, dude, honestly, a lot of the media is always like, hey, we think you need to fight somebody better. Like, when are you going to fight a top 10 guy? And it's always like 2 thoughts. First of all, I've only been a pro for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So they get a little ahead of themselves, which is fine. But also it's like, look, if I have the choice between fighting top 10 guys or fighting 5 times a year, I want to fight 5 times a year. You know, the more time I'm in there, the better. And I think that there's a chance I'll fight again in June. I've been asking for it, and we'll see, dude. If I can fight again in June, I might get 4 fights in 2022, which I'll take activity over rankings. Who cares about rankings right now? You know, I want to be active.
Exactly. I like how you put that, because there's people who really don't understand the game, and then they'll say that type of stuff like, oh, when are you gonna fight this guy, but the name of the game is, you're so young in your career. Like, the name of the game is experience. Get in there, build your brand, get valuable experience with different opponents. There's no need for you to go up and fight someone who's ranked in the top 5 or top 6. Like, that's just unnecessary.
Especially with 4 first-round finishes. You know, I feel like that cage time is invaluable.
I was just thinking, I was adding it up last night, I think. I've spent a total of two fights worth of time actually in the cage, which is not that much time. You know, I want to continue to get a lot of time under my belt. Obviously, I'm happy to get these early finishes, but in the long run, I need experience more than anything.
Yeah, experience is crucial, and it doesn't hurt to go out there. And, you know, you're making a living fighting in one of the top promotions in the world. So that's hats off to you always.
Yeah, you too, man. I mean, I've been so pumped following you and seeing you finally got the UFC contract, man. I can't wait to watch your UFC debut, bro. Seriously, we're representing Pittsburgh so well. Me, you, Dalton, Nick Brown, John DeJesus. Like, I hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but we're putting Pittsburgh on the map, man. Yeah,
dude, that's awesome to hear, and I was so happy. I got kind of chills. That's really cool. I'm just like, I know, I'm really happy that you got on the show with us tonight, because I think that this is the wave. I told you earlier, I believe that this is the wave from Pittsburgh that's going to do that. You, Dalton, myself, Big Steve, just pushing Pittsburgh out there forward, and that's awesome.
Dude, you know what's going to be the best case? Well, unfortunately, I guess you won't be able to join us in this one. But if we can get a Bellator Pittsburgh card someday. We have a lot of guys. You might be the only Pittsburgh guy in the UFC, huh?
Currently, I think so. But, dude, if Bellator comes to Pittsburgh and puts all yins on there, you can bet your ass I am in the front row drinking Yinglings in 2 hands, screaming at you guys. Like, I'm always down to celebrate friends. And that's all I love to do. I like to drink and watch some fights.
That's going to happen, man. That's going to be a great experience for all of us.
Certainly. Now, let's talk a little bit about your camp and your preparation there, Cody. So you're down at American Top Team, is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So who is some of the people? I mean, obviously, with such a world-renowned camp with so many great coaches and teammates down around there, who are some of the people who help prepare you for this fight?
For this fight, obviously, my coach is Mike Brown. I've been training with Artem Levin, who's like one of the best kickboxers of all time. He might be the best striking coach in the world, honestly. He's incredible. And he makes me work so hard. Like, when I train with him, I leave most sessions frustrated because I don't get it right all the time. And I have to really rack my brain to get things right. So he's amazing. As far as fighters go, you guys know the big names. But I like to talk about the guys who might not know as well. There's a guy named Leo. He's a Brazilian kickboxer. He trains at our gym. He's been great. I trained with him. And then when I thought I was fighting Johnny Soto, I started training with a guy named Sadiq. He fought for Habib's promotion on a Friday night, the night before my fight.
Okay.
He's a tough Russian at 145, wrestler. And I was using him as like a guy to simulate someone who might try to take me down. Unfortunately, Soto pulled out, but Sadiq gave me incredible rounds, man. Tough Russian. I think he's going to be a name someday here soon.
Awesome. Well, Cody, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. Is there anybody that you want to plug, any sponsors, anyone that you want to get out there before we head out?
Yeah, man. Obviously American Top Team, my team here in Pittsburgh, Matt Factory, Taekwondo America, Southside Boxing, and my sponsors, Action Sledge, Angry Duck, Sauce Company, Trouble Whiskey, and Simpson Labs. These guys have been supporting me, and I'm very grateful. And thanks for having me on, man. It's been good to talk to you guys.
Absolutely. And where can people follow you on social media?
Cody Law MMA on Instagram.
Awesome. Anything else, Josh?
No, hey, it was awesome talking to you. Thanks for giving us the time, my man. Go enjoy it. Back in the Berg.
Yeah, man, I'm here right now. I'm having tequila.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing right there. Folks, that was Cody Law joining us by way of the MyFitFoods hotline. That is myfitfoods.com. That is eat fit, live fit, give a fit. Make sure that you use that promo code Peanut Gallery in the checkout, and you will be all taken care of in the back end there. Stick around after the break. We're going to be going through the weekend in combat sports, as well as topping the hour off by going 3 rounds. I'm Jordan Kurtz, sitting here alongside Josh Frem. This is the MMA Plug presented to you by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. That helps us continue to produce this original MMA content and bring it for you every single week. Tune in to the MMA Plug presented by DenverSportsBetting.com on 98.1 FM, Mile High Sports Radio on Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. or live stream at DenverSportsBetting.com/radio.